Amazing. Early day version to the sunroof.
Yeah. Or air conditioning for now.
Yep.
225, good brake 7 hard. 25, Roger, good brake 7 hard.
Oh no, you guys want to stay, I'll be right back. Well, here we are, first shot at the Valley Railroad. The train will be actually on, the dinner train.
Morning, Mike.
Morning. Just shooting some video. I screwed up, I pushed the button. This camera I'm getting used to. It's one I got at a yard sale. Yeah, that looks like number 19. Oh yeah. Morning. Yeah, that looks like number 19. There's the shop complex. Another freaking Pennsylvania baggage car. Incredible. Oh wow, there's number 40. These are the engines I can't see. That's number 40, and they have a Old New Haven caboose. Now we're gonna go back down and wait for our train. Kitchen car. Morning. Boy, I'm hot. This almost resembles one of the former New Haven Pacifics from the heyday of the old New Haven and Hartford Railroad. Not notice the plow there. Darn. I'm gonna picture him after. It'll be being pulled behind a diesel-powered train. I'd rather have the done it by steam. That's what we call classic. Oh, then we get on our train. The dinner special. That maroonish colored baggage car was the one that sat at Pittsfield from the 1980s. Well, actually a long time. It was used for storage. Now we got to get on our train.
No, I gave my ticket away, so I'm not eating. Somebody's missing a beat.
Yes, Barbara.
Anybody missing a beat?
Did you get a new beat ticket? Without a new beat ticket, nobody gets
Come on, David.
That was sponsor. Yeah, and his sponsor never showed up with it from the guy that was there.
David.
What happened? His sponsor didn't show up or something.
Hey, what's up?
Is this going to be on tomorrow?
I hope
Or
so.
next day or something?
I'm gonna be working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brother's back in Kansas.
See ya. David, come on over. I was trying to get you to sit right in the shade here. Go ahead. Hey, watch out. Filming. Camera's in my hand. No, I didn't.
That's when we get on the way back to 501 and 503, so
Yeah, that's cool. And he likes trains.
who doesn't?
My husband does.
Okay, where's the train?
Coming to it.
Yeah, when they get out on their own and they get married and stuff, boy, they hear
This is music that's being used to entertain the people on the train.
I'm going to drive. You gotta get your license? Yeah, they help you get it in school. They helped me when I was.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Okay, I see boats, but no other train.
Because that will be a car ride.
You want to be a what?
A tractor.
That's what I older son
I 18-wheeler.
Huh?
An 18-wheeler tractor. Like my cousins. You know, those car rides. Big boys.
My older son
They say that train was going to be out.
double. A car holder. Yeah. Get all over the United States. New England tractor trailers go over. It's a short program.
There's some herons, I think.
Oh, you're right. I see a herring now.
Here's the train passing
Yep.
out.
Oh, that's the one that already went down in front of us.
Oh, well.
Oh, and they're on their way back.
So this has got to be where the boat ride is.
Maybe some of the
Here's the deep river.
They have to eat the food fast or else they get cold. And petitioning.
Yeah, that's true.
There it is.
Nice.
Our boat. Getting out there. I believe that's our boat there. We'll be getting on it later.
Because they have some ale and something.
out the dinner train. Here's the dinner train. We'll have a bathroom on the boat. Becky Thrasher, that's the boat here. Okay, so I got the rope. Dinner train back to Essex. Okay, we'll keep see ya. Okay, here comes the steam-powered train. That's a backup whistle, Doris. Similar to what I had put in the closet.
I'll just look at your tickets one more time, and that's all, then you can put them away.
Got the tickets, Doris. Hold on to them.
I tried my best. I'm only one man. I did my best.
Yeah.
You're right, though. The Thatcher.
Generally prefer to be up in the open.
David! What's up, hey, man? How was your lunch? Good. How was your lunch? Fantastic. Good stuff. How about you guys?
Trains me. I feel like a rag out.
Huh?
It's like chicken.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Seating and the snack bar and bar area.
Elevator train only can pick.
Additional seating, restrooms, and the bar area located on the lower first deck or main deck level. Use the rear stairway to your right for lower deck.
sit here for the next hour and a half and listen to this kid who doesn't even know the difference between a horn and a whistle. But technically, there's no such thing as a horn on a boat, so that was our whistle that you just heard. And what that means is that we are now leaving the town of Deep River. This area off to our left-hand side is known as Deep River Landing. Now, the landing that you see here today, which includes our dock, these docks up ahead, and that gazebo just up ahead as well as the stone walls and such. This was all built in 1990 by a group of volunteers, all using donated materials, so it didn't cost the town anything to build. And although these docks are fairly new, there have been docks here for the better part of around 300 years. Back in the 17 and 1800s, this was the site of the Thomas and Eli Denison Shipbuilding Company. And what they did was they built sloops and schooners that would sail as far as Africa and would return with ivory tusks. This ivory would then be brought over to the town of Ivoryton, where the Pratt Reed Company would turn it into all types of luxurious different things, such as fine-tooth combs and hat pins and billiard balls, and of course, most notably, piano keys, which is where they get the saying, tickling the ivories, when they refer to someone who's playing the piano. Now, of course, since then, the ivory trade has been outlawed, of course. However, the docks here did still serve a purpose. They were used to service the steamboats that frequented this area in the 1800s into the early 20th century. Now, right now, we're actually not in the main channel of the river. The main channel is over there off to the western side, runs along the landmass over there.
I just want to get a better view of the river.
Yeah, the build town in together.
Of course, and boats 3 to 4 times our size would use this every day. Most of these steamboats were owned by the Hartford to New York Steamboat Company, and as you can probably guess, most of them would be either going from Hartford to New York or vice versa. Now, back in those days, a ride from Hartford to New York on one of these steamboats would take anywhere between 16 and 20 hours to complete. During that time, you would have your own cabin on the boat, because, of course, if you wanted to get away from everyone else and just kind of relax, you needed that. You'd also be served 2 or 3 meals since you were there for such a long time.
Well, let me move out of the way for you, sir.
And these boats were fairly luxurious. They had mahogany dining rooms, and they even had a stage where entertainment such as plays or musical acts would perform. Now, this 16 to 20 hour boat ride would cost you a whopping $5, which doesn't sound like much, especially today, but you do have to keep in mind that back then, $5, excuse me, was essentially what the average person made in, say, an entire month. So it was a pretty costly experience.
Yeah, that's right.
But it did go a long ways. Now, the last steamboat to come through here was the SS Middletown. That was on October 31st of 1931. And upon reaching its destination in New York, the Hartford to New York Steamboat Company was essentially put out of business. The reason for this was because of the faster and more reliable locomotives, whereas a steamboat ride from Hartford to New York would take 16 or 20 hours. A train ride from Hartford to New York would take only 6 hours. And eventually, of course, automobiles came and became more prevalent, and steamboats were really not necessarily necessary anymore. So once it reached New York, they offloaded it, they stripped it of everything expensive or valuable, and they pulled it out into New York Harbor, and they pulled the plug, they scuttled it, so they just let it sink. I'm sure if you tried to do that today with an unwanted boat, you'd run into some problems with the EPA or the DEP or what have you, but back then cigarettes were still good for you, so you could do basically whatever you wanted. Now right here to the right-hand side, you can actually see a remnants from the old steamboat days. This big concrete block that we're passing was the foundation and is the only surviving remnant of an old oil lantern tower that used to stand there to mark the northern entrance to the steamboat channel. On top of that stood a wooden 25-foot tall tower, and at the top would be, of course, a lantern. And it had to be serviced twice daily by a lamplighter. Once in the evening, someone had to row out and light it. And again in the morning, someone would have to row out and extinguish it. Now that doesn't seem like such a bad job, especially on a gorgeous, sunny summer day like today. But you do have to keep in mind that it had to be done 365 days a year, whether it be rain, snow, sleet, Armageddon, you had to come out and you had to do it anyways. And it was done entirely by volunteers. So they weren't paid at all for their efforts. Well, I shouldn't say that. The only payment they did receive was that the steamboat captains, in thanking these volunteers, would offer them free passage on their steamboats, provided they could find someone to service the light while they were gone. Now, off to our right-hand side, you can see that little barge there. Past that barge, you'll see what looks to be the east bank of the river. However, that's actually not the case. That is an island. That's the Connecticut River's newest and largest island. Now I say it's the largest island because of course it is. It's 2 miles long and a half mile wide, and it climbs to about 234 feet above sea level at the peak up there. And the reason why I say it's the newest island is because it was not always an island. Back in the day that used to be called Selden Neck, and it changed hands many times. It was owned at one point by the colonial government. It, was used as a quarry. The Connecticut Gravel and Mining Company used it, quarried it for its red granite schist. That granite was used for paving stones all up and down the East Coast. Any of you who've been to, say, Coney Island recently, those cobblestones that you're rattling over to get there, those actually came from Selden Island. It was eventually, the reason why it's called the Selden Island is because it was the Selden family who eventually turned it over to the state of Connecticut. Now, when they turned it over to the state, it was still Selden Neck. But in 1854, a flood caused Selden Creek, which ran just around the then neck and connected with Selden Cove right back there, allowed that to reconnect with the river, which separated it completely from the mainland, causing it to be an island. And you can actually see right there, that little inlet is the northern entrance to Selden Creek, and then right to the left of that is actually my summer home. Yeah, I can dream, can I? That's actually not a country club. Everyone asks that. That's a private residence, so they're doing pretty well for themselves. Anyways, when the Selden family turned over the island to the state of Connecticut, they had a few stipulations. The state was not allowed to build any homes or roads to or from the island. Now, of course, they've come true to this. There are no roads or homes to the island. The only permanent structures there are the 4 campsites that are located on the island, and they're accessible only by boat. Now, there's no garbage or anything like that. All you get is a fire pit, a picnic table, and a porta potty. So, it is a carry-in, carry-out campsite. You do have to bring your food, your clothing, your tents, things like that. The only thing you really wouldn't have to bring is your water, because there is actually a fresh spring on the island. Now these campsites are available. You have to obtain a permit from the TEP to camp on them. And these permits are only good for one night. However,
go on ahead.
What a lot of people do is they'll get a few of their friends. Each of them will take out a permit for, say, I'll get Tuesday, the next person will get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and so on. And they'd be able to stay for a long weekend or a week. There is plenty of wildlife on the island. As deer and things that live on the island, as well as plenty of things that swim over from the mainland, swim over across Selden Creek and get onto the island. Now, as I said, there is a natural spring on the island, and since it is clean for drinking, that means it's a Class A body of water. Now, the river that we're on is Class B, and I'll get to that in a minute, but back in the early 60s, or up to the late 60s, this was considered a Class D body of water. That's D as in dirty, dumpy, disgusting, or any other gross adjective you might like to use. Now, the reason for this was because there was no legislation that said you couldn't dump anything you wanted into the river, so entire towns would be dumping their municipal sewage into the river. companies would be dumping waste chemicals into the river. Tons of DDT, which was a farming pesticide, would be, they'd spray it on everything and the rain would wash it off and wash it into the river. And eventually the fish would absorb those chemicals, and the birds would eat the fish, and then the birds would lay fragile eggs that wouldn't be able to hatch, and we saw a decline in the population of a lot of the wildlife in this area. Now, it got so bad that at one point a New York Times editorial called this the most scenic sewer system in America. And you can probably guess that the locals weren't too pleased with that. They decided to do something about it. So in 1972, the Clean Water Act was passed, which prohibited all this dumping from going into the river. No longer could you just say, take this trash bag and throw it overboard if you wanted to get rid of it. And in 1973, the Gateway Commission was formed, and it's their job to preserve the scenic beauty of the river. And you can look around and see that they've done quite a job at that. It has returned more or less to its beautiful natural state. It has gone from a Class D body of water to Class B, which means that it's safe for all types of boating, swimming, fishing. You can even eat the fish that you catch out of the river. The only thing you're really not supposed to do is drink the water, but I've lived here my entire life, and I go swimming in this river 2 or 3 times a week. And of course, I swallow a mouthful here and there, but aside from the 6th toe on my left foot, I seem to be doing okay. Only kidding, of course. Maybe just a little bit of hair loss, but that's not a big deal at all. I'm only kidding. This is perfectly safe. If you swallow a mouthful, you won't get any deformities or anything like that. You'll be fine. Now, looking at the water itself, you might not feel so inclined to believe me, as it's still this kind of gross brownish color. But the reason for that is because, unlike rock-bottomed rivers, this river has a muddy bottom. So with the changing tides, as well as the boats that travel over the top of it, all this mud gets kicked up into the water, and it stays in this constant state of agitation. And that's what creates this murky color that you see. So, say if you were to take a glass of this water home with you and leave it on your bedstand overnight, you would wake up and in the morning you'd see that on top would be clear water and on the bottom would be a very fine layer of silt. But it's much easier to just take my word for it that it's clean. Now, in addition to this, the river has many sandbars. The main channel of the river is only maintained to a controlling depth of about 15 feet, although it's naturally deeper in some places. But if you get too far outside the channel, there are plenty of spots on this river where you will come to an abrupt and uncomfortable stop, if you catch my drift. We've seen it a few times where some boater with, not a lot of experience, but a whole lot of false confidence will wander out a little too far and get stuck and have to wait for the tide to come back in and lift them up off the bottom. I'm sure many of you are already able to look at Gillette Castle up here on our right-hand side, on the hill up there. That was built for a man named William Gillette. William Gillette was an actor on the early American and British stages, most well known for his portrayal of Sherlock Holmes. Now, when you think of Sherlock Holmes today, you probably think of a British detective with a, black and purple trench coat, a deerstalker cap, a long curved-stemmed pipe, and a magnifying glass. You probably also think of the phrase "elementary, my dear Watson." Now, interestingly enough, if you read the original Sherlock Holmes novels by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, none of these character traits are actually a part of the character of Sherlock Holmes. These were all added to the character by William Gillette. And it was said that he came up with the phrase "elementary, my dear Watson" when he forgot his lines during a play one time. But anyways, Gillette had his own railroad on the property. It ran about 2 miles from the entrance, where it was known as Castle Oak, all the way up just 100 yards from his front door to Grand Central Station, as he called it. Now, oftentimes, what he would do when he had guests over is he'd pick them up a couple miles away from his house, and he would then proceed to go at a breakneck pace over all types of rickety-looking bridges and through long, scary, curved tunnels where you couldn't see the light at the end, so it looked like it had no end. And oftentimes, by the time they actually got to the castle, his guests would be, you could say, a little bit flustered. They would be willing to accept a drink if Gillette would offer. And of course he did. He said, there's the liquor cabinet, have at it. I'm going to go change out of my conductor's costume into something a little bit more comfortable. Now, as I mentioned before, he had a mirror security system so he could watch the liquor cabinet. So what he would do while he was getting changed is he would go watch through the security system and watch his guests kick and scream and struggle with the fake latch on the front of the liquor cabinet. It wasn't connected to anything, it didn't do anything. It was there purely for show. And after he had had his fill and watched them struggle for 5 or 10 minutes, he'd come out, lean up against the side of it, and insert a little metal rod, which was basically just a key, into a hole in the side, at which point it would open, they'd all have a laugh, and then they'd all pour themselves a drink. I'm sure at the end of the night his guests would prefer to walk back to the entrance, but, you know, that was no skin off his back. Now, the rumor is that no guest of the castle ever figured out how to open the liquor cabinet, which is fairly remarkable, seeing as though he had some fairly intelligent guests, such as Albert Einstein, Henry Ford, Helen Hayes, Calvin Coolidge. Charlie Chaplin was a guest in the castle, and he started in some of Gillette's earlier plays. They were all guests at one point, and none of them could figure it out. Now, from listening to this, you probably get the feeling that Gillette was a pretty eccentric man. Despite that, though, he did manage to find love. In 1882, he married a woman by the name of Helen Nichols, and they were very madly in love with each other. However, it was short-lived. She passed away only 6 years later of a ruptured appendix, and back then, doctors couldn't do anything about that, so it was very tragic. Now, Gillette loved her so much that on her deathbed, he promised that he would never remarry. And he did hold true to this promise, but that did not mean he lived in his castle alone at that entire time. He did have upwards of 15 cats living with him at a time, one of which was his favorite, and it actually had its own place setting at the table where it dined with Gillette every night. So you could kind of draw the connection between William Gillette and that crazy cat lady that lived on your street. Maybe you are that crazy cat lady, we don't judge. But that's why if you take a tour of the castle today, you'll actually notice that inside there are all kinds of cat statues scattered throughout. Now, tours are available of the castle until, I believe, Labor Day this year. They're going on now. It is $5 for adults to tour the castle, $2 for children. However, that includes only the inside portion of the castle. If you want to take a hike through some of his walking trails or see the old railroad, you can do that any day of the year, 365 days, from sun up to sundown, and that is absolutely free. And I highly recommend it. It's a great spot to go have a picnic, have lunch, enjoy a sunset, or something like that. If you're feeling brave, you can jump off the cliff into the water. Plenty of rope swings over there, too. If that's your thing. Now, in 1937, when Gillette himself passed away at the age of 87 years old, he did not have a widow or any heirs to leave the castle to. So he left it up to his lawyers, his executors, to sell the castle. But he did leave behind some stipulations. He loved this area and he loved his castle so much that he could not bear to see it fall into the hands of, and I quote, some blithering saphead with no conception of where he is or with what's surrounded. Now, this left them in a pretty sticky situation trying to sell this $1 million castle right at the depths of the Great Depression, and they couldn't just sell it to anybody. So after rejecting an offer from developers to buy the castle, they ended up selling it to the state of Connecticut for the sum of $29,000, which was basically just what the castle owed in back taxes. And they turned it into Gillette Castle State Park. As I said, tours are available, $5 for adults, $2 for children, and the area around the castle is free to the public from sun up to sundown. If that were to fail for some reason, have no note here, there's also a backup 50 horsepower motor. If that were to fail as well, there is a backup. However, that's a hand crank. So if you were the bridge operator on the day where for some reason both motors failed, and you had to crank the bridge open by hand, you could probably be thinking about putting in your resignation, but it doesn't happen often. I doubt it happens ever, really. They do have to test it, of course. I'm sure some of you are wondering what these red and green buoys and signs are on the banks. You can see that up on the left. You can see green dayboard number 45, and back there was red nun buoy number 44. Those are part of the navigation system on the Connecticut River. So for hundreds of years, mariners have followed the adage red right when returning from sea, which means that when you're going away from the sea, or returning, which we are, we're headed north right now, we keep the red buoys to our right-hand side and the green buoys to our left-hand side, and that's what allows us to know that we are in the deepest part of the water. No, the numbers on them don't correspond to any particular depth or mileage or anything like that. They actually just correspond to a series of charts that every captain should have on board his vessel. Basically what happens is it allows you to look up, say, oh, I'm between green number 45 and red number 46. You can go refer to your charts and you can see, you know, in between those two markers what the depth is and, you know, where you should maybe stay away from. Nowadays, most people just have GPS that let you do that, but it does still help. Now, if you take a look at the swing bridge again and follow it all the way over to the right-hand side, you can see that large white wooden building. That is the Goodspeed Opera House. It was built by William Goodspeed in 1876 as a warehouse for his shipping interests, as well as a venue for his love of theater. Originally, it was called Goodspeed's Hall. Now, Goodspeed owned and financed many of the businesses in this area. He was essentially trying to turn East Connecticut into the cultural center of the state. Let's say you strolled into town one evening and wanted to have dinner. You'd go to the Goodspeed restaurant. If you wanted to spend the night, you could get a room at the Goodspeed Hotel. If you wanted to buy a postcard, you could go to the Goodspeed General Store. And if you wanted to mail that, located on this river. The first is the Rocky Hill to Glastonbury Ferry, which was started in 1655. This was started in 1769 by a man named Jonathan Warner. And it was, of course, called Warner's Ferry. Jonathan Warner owned land on both sides of the river, and of course he needed a way to get across. So originally it was just a barge that was pushed with very long poles. However, over the years they tried different types of ferries. There was an oxen-powered ferry where teams of oxen would pull a cable across the river, and attached to the cable was a barge. Let's see. There were also steam-powered ferries at one point. They experimented with a sail-powered ferry. However, you can imagine that didn't go over very well, no pun intended. Now, today is a double-ended diesel-powered ferry. The Southwest Marine has been running since 1949.
God bless you.
It is neither deep nor is it a river. At high tide, it's only about 6 feet deep, which means that with tides of 4 feet, you can do the math. It's only about 2 feet deep at low tide. Which, you know, whoever named it wasn't really firing on all cylinders, but that's okay. We'll still stick with it. Now we've just passed the old concrete block, which means that we've re-entered the old steamboat channel. And at this time, I do have to ask anybody on the
You gotta wait. Wait there on the train. They got bathrooms. The train bathroom's better than that porta potty. Yeah.
The
501.
501.
Yeah.
501. The diamond car.
No, I think we just get a regular one this time.
Ah.
502, 503, and 501.
You okay up the hill?
You'll make it.
You want to know 501, right?
Yeah. God.
I heard from you.
I thought the Amtrak brakes were loud.
Yeah.
Actually, it's over by that tent where you got it. That's what they call the reverse light. So when I run it backwards, the back light would be on.
Right? Don't pull on the ring. If you're not watching, just get that. Please take the hands off.
CSX went to hell in a handbasket because of Harrison Hunter. There cut a few trains, and you know most of them run at night on top of it.
Oh yeah?
Yep. did most of my filming sitting down, coming up this way, and from the side. The engine that was pulling the dinner train, I learned out how to actually run it back when it was on Berkshire Scenic property, back when it was number 19. My father was one of the head engineers down there.
Yeah.
I actually know how to run a locomotive.
Trainer to 3025 and conductor, we have 2 iron.
3025 top and iron. Got lots of docks, big power boats. Ask you how many boats you can see. Start counting them. First of all, do you see it? Okay, I hear people, but not enough of you. How about here in the 502? Very good.
Holy Jesus, that truck is exactly like mine. Except for the crew cab.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we head south, the left side of the train is the river side. The right side of the train is the left side of the train. Actually, now we're looking at the further wetlands known as Pratt Cove. The water in the cove gets higher and lower with the changing level of the Connecticut River. So it's called a tunnel rush. With a bridge that crosses the cove. There's a hint. You'll see the road, but you'll hear the road. The road's missing. Across the road. That's Pratt Cove. I see one hand. 2 hands. I see a dozen. I don't see a ton of hands. There's a lot of hands.
Notice in that crossing signal up there, you had a light at one end and a bell at the other side. What's going on with the light?
The light is actually used for nighttime use.
Okay.
So that way when we're running the trains at night, you know, because the red lights are on such an angle that the engineer can't see it, that white light actually flashes to allow the engineer to know that the circuit is activated and that the lights are flashing. So it's going to Canadian Railroad symbol, and a lot of the New England railroads later adopted that same effect. That way, you cross like that way or come this way, you can't necessarily see the red lights. But when you see that white light flashing, that notifies the engineer that the crossing is in activation.
I never seen something like that before. That's why I was asking, because it was kind of weird.
There are not too many crossings like that have that left.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, it's a good feature to have. This is actually my first time on your guys' train here, and I'm beginning to like it more and more.
We're glad to have you here.
This other camera tape is about had it.